right, welcome back to another Triad InfoSec podcast. Today we're doing our Veterans Helping Veterans series, and I think you guys are going to like this. We've got a room full of the saltiest, spiciest, most successful veterans and honorary veterans that you ever met in your life. For those of you that don't know, my name's Josh Wathen. I'm here to ask all the dumb questions because I don't read a single thing. I just listen to people. What we've done here is created a business-to-business networking group full of veterans and like-minded people where we spend a lot of time passing referrals back and forth, helping each other with our business problems, sales, finance, self-worth. Sometimes you just have a bad day and we pick each other up. And we've aptly named that Tropic Thunder. If you haven't seen that movie, you really should go watch it. It's basically about a bunch of actors who have no idea what they're doing, end up in a war zone and try to make a movie. And oftentimes veterans, we feel that way, where we came from a really structured environment where we understand brotherhood and helping each other out, but we have no clue what we're doing in business and just making it work regardless. So without further ado, I'd like to give you guys an opportunity to introduce yourselves, and we'll just go Buzz, Mike, Giliania, and Melissa. How about that? Tell us who you are, what you do, and how you found Tropic Thunder.
Got it. My name is Mike, aka Buzz. I'm the president of Tropic Thunder. I am one of the owners of Storyteller Promotions. Your answer for all things promotional products. I stumbled across SEN as a result of cold call from Donnie Bovin, and as a suggestion to figure out how to help veterans network better, we talked about creating a chapter for veteran-centric businesses. And the next thing I know, I was told I was going to be the president. So here I am. Am I there?
Awesome. Yeah, we got you. Goodrich, how'd you stumble into this Zoom room every Thursday morning?
You and Buzz were like, hey, guess what? We're going to a conference. I need you to sign up for this thing real quick, and we're going to go do stuff. And so my first introduction to SEN was basically being picked up, or me driving to go pick up Josh on the way to a conference in Dallas, driving through Houston. So got to meet everybody on the team, didn't get exposed to the individual chapters, really just got to meet the entire congregation of people in the SCN network. And then we proceeded to devise under the leadership of Buzz how we were going to build this thing. And Josh's Rolodex runs deep because that's where a lot of the people came from.
That's fair. I do bother a lot of people. Giliana, how about yourself? How did you end up here in this room? And yeah, tell us about you. What do you do?
Well, my name's Giliania. I am with Insperity, and I sell our HR core, traditional payroll, non-PEO technology, and HR support platform. Love being with Insperity. I just celebrated 4 years. I was an advisor selling our PEO, and we recently opened a new division. And that's actually how I got here, because I was working with a lot of veterans, and the PEO just wasn't an appropriate product for them. This traditional payroll with HR support was the best product. And I knew Goody and Buzz and you from just networking and the veteran groups here in Houston. And you were like, Giliania, you got to come. You're perfect for a mentor. You're a natural born teacher. You'll make sure everybody gets what they need because that's just what you do. And I haven't looked back. It's a great group. It's definitely an outlet every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Definitely.
Yeah, you're not lying about that. It's a cup of coffee, right?
Yes.
And a decompression zone. We get a lot of pressure relief out of what traditionally with a networking group is kind of an awkward room where everybody's wondering what they're supposed to do and avoid everybody else's agenda. And it's really turned into a dysfunctional family, I think, for the most part. It's been pretty neat. So, yeah, and for those of y'all that don't know, Melissa Comperry is the only one that's not a veteran, but I I would go out a limb down there and say she's got more grit that she brings to the table than any of the rest of us salty people. How did you end up here, and why did you end up joining, Melissa? What do you do?
So my day job, as I say, is I'm an executive relationship associate at Third Coast Bank. So I support our middle market and corporate banking team and also our chief banking officer. I'm also an advisor at the Wolf Center for Entrepreneurship, which is how I know Josh, who's a former student there. And I came into this group because Josh was like, "Hey, I think you could really do this." And I was like, "I am not a veteran." And he's like, "I don't care." He's like, "You've been helping veterans, through the student stuff at the university and some other stuff that I've been a part of." And I think my program management with the entrepreneurship program kind of worked into the education piece of what I do for our group at Tropic Thunder. So.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So let's back up just a little bit. I know we've referenced SEN a couple of times, and Tropic Thunder's a group inside there. Somebody want to jump on that grenade and tell us what is SEN as a whole, and how does Tropic Thunder fit into that? How does all of this work?
Yeah. Basically SCN, or Success Champions Network, is you take your standard networking groups for your consultants, your high-level salesmen, your small business, even some of your biz dev teams from your medium-sized businesses, and you get rid of everything that is business to customer facing and focus on relationships on the business to business side. And the entire point of the entire group is you build friendship, relationship, trust, and business partners with other businesses that are going after the same ideal client that you are. So the whole point is, by helping other people, you are also helping yourself in the true traditional sense, instead of you have, and there's nothing against somebody selling grandma's cookies, but if you're looking, like Giuliana, to get into a company with 500 people, talking to somebody who sells grandma's cookies is not how you're going to get that door open. Talking to somebody in cybersecurity, an MSP, somebody who does event planning for a large corporate business, somebody who has connections in banks, those are the people that can get you into and in front of the decision makers you need for you to get a decision in your sales funnel, yes or no.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, there's a ton of networking groups out there. There's BNI and NIA and Vistage, and I mean, the list goes on and on. What makes this different?
B2B only.
B2B only?
Yeah.
Is that the only thing that makes this different for you guys?
No.
No,
For me, yeah, go ahead, Prez.
I think the focus on introductions is probably what makes it different. Instead of referrals, we're making those, trying to get down more doors open for you to get the hall. It's better for you to kind of what directly to your client, but get you closer every single time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you broke up just a little bit there. So let me see if I can fill the gaps in here. What I heard was, instead of us focusing on direct referrals, meaning I just met you at a networking group, or maybe I've seen you once or twice, and I want you to hand me people that I can go pitch to get business. We're focused on who is that referral partner for you. So I can make introductions where when you meet the person I introduce you to, you two are strategically positioned to help make each other money, which means that you're both willing to meet each other without spending political capital. And if you start having a conversation and build a relationship, it will grow into a well that keeps feeding you water instead of just one single bucket. And it takes a lot of the awkwardness in the agenda out of the conversation. And I think Donnie Bovine is the founder of Success Champion Networking, and that's who we keep referring to. And he's done a great job of building sales strategies for other companies, and kind of turned this into the networking group that he wished he had back when he was doing sales for a living. So I think that's a great point about the differentiation here. Red, what did you have for us on what makes this different for you?
Same. That is, I can't, like Goody was saying, I can't. Grandma's Cookies is not going to help me connect and help a business get the support it needs. And there's a lot of businesses, especially now, that are out there hurting. And I'm an Army vet, but I'm also, a healer. I used to be a massage therapist. So I'm like this warrior healer. And it drives me nuts not to be able to create those strategic partnerships and people that are looking to help the same business as I am. And the values of the people that I've met are in harmony with my values, even as a veteran, as a healer, just overall. It's really been an amazing group. Everybody in Success Champion Network is also vetted. So we don't just let anybody in. And if you don't fit, you don't fit. And we're not afraid to tell you no, not only in Tropic Thunder, but in Success Champion Network. And that really makes a huge difference. It's not just any other networking group. Like for me, I'm paying out of my own pocket. Whereas when I was an advisor, I was, Insperity was paying the networking bill. But now that, I'm a consultant, it's out of my own pocket. And I personally get as much value as I do professionally.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that pouring into each other after enough time spent in the same room, it doesn't really matter whether it's a referral conversation. It's just generally, how do I be a bro, right? And help you out. Okay, so this is the Veteran Helping Veteran podcast, and Tropic Thunder is a veteran-centric group. What makes Tropic Thunder different from the other groups in SCN?
I was like, well, SCN, all the groups have a completely different flavor to them. Thankfully, Tropic Thunder has the, we'll call it mild E4 Mafia feel to it. Well, we're just gonna shoot and ask questions later. We're just gonna figure it out and ask questions later. It's a very, by polarizing group, I mean, you're either gonna come in the meeting and you'd be like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, or you're gonna be like, this is terrible. Please get me out of this meeting right now. And so the people that generally end up staying enjoy the level of camaraderie and trying to figure out the way to say this. Yeah.
Like playfulness.
Yes. The most loving dark humor you will ever hear. And in the hopes that the entire team is literally rooting for you to be successful. The entire team, literally whatever you need, will basically just do whatever they got to do to help you either close a deal, fix your funnel approach, open whatever door they can for you. The whole goal is to help others succeed. It is very not self-centered, and that's what really feels like, the military. It's got that feel to it where you're not the most important person in the room. Everybody else is the most important person in the room.
Right. I would say along the same lines with the camaraderie, specifically in Tropic Thunder, our ridiculous backgrounds and call signs, that's fashioned after military. Well, the call sign part. I don't know about ridiculous backgrounds. Maybe y'all.
Yes, go with it.
But the call sign, this is a name chosen by the group for you when you become a member. And I think just when you come into a networking room and there's all this crazy stuff, in the background, it's like, what's going on? And then you hear about it. It's like, oh, this means something to people. And it's you can tell a lot about the people in it based on what's in the background of their screen. So it's just, I feel like you're creating that sense of purpose and belonging within the members too. Like, I think it's a really special touch.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's go around the room, and I don't think we've actually done this in Tropic Thunder, but I would like to hear from each one of you on what your call sign is. Maybe a little bit about what you think got you that call sign, but more importantly, what your call sign means to you, because that's something we haven't really done as a group. Is what did it mean? How do you own it? So let's go ladies first and go right back over to you, Miss Beth Dutton. Tell us about your call sign and what that means to you.
So So I got the call sign Beth Dutton, and I was super grateful that it was something kind of kick-ass because when I come across as like a more sweet, mild person, that's good. Like that's who I am. But I know that I can get stuff done. And it was such a way to be recognized that way from you guys. Like this is someone who's so sweet, but she's going to make it happen. So if you're in the way, like she might blow up a store, or something, or beat someone up for you. I don't know, but like she's going to make this happen. And that meant a lot to me that was seen as part of who I am.
Awesome. Well, let's stick with the ladies first. Miss Red, what about you?
Yeah. Well, and so Beth does our background. So I had not seen the movie Red. I've just all my life I've been called Big Red. My little sister was Little Red, so I'm a redhead, I mean, it's just all that. But retired, there's something about the energy of retired and extremely dangerous that gives me a lot of freedom in her meeting groups to, like, if somebody needs to be like, okay, this 30-second commercial you're working on, no, it's not working, or how can it just helps me to be that warrior healer, I think is what it really is, because everything I do with purpose, and it's like a very much heart driven. I'm a Christian, so God driven. I am a tool of God, and this is how I show up. Retired and extremely dangerous. Red. I love it.
Awesome. I didn't know that's what that stood for. That's even better. That's even better. All right, Mr. Numbers, with your wild and crazy calculator background back there, tell us.
I was going to say, I was like, mine might be one of the more obvious answers, but I am a financial advisor that does financial planning and advisories for businesses, and the whole job is to cut apart large P&L and balance sheets and put them back together and kind of connect the financial department to operations so that the CEO can understand how the decisions are affecting their actual profit margins, or have the come to Jesus meeting with their accountant team to fix how that's actually being done. That's really what it is my job really revolves around precision, technicality, and just a lot of information. And it shows up in the personality, eccentric, and a lot of numbers. And so that's where the nickname Numbers came from. It's great. I love it. From my point of view, just being seen as just, you see is what you get. And I enjoy doing data.
Yeah. I think that hits it on the nose. Mr. Mickey, what do you think about your call sign?
I was a little taken aback when I first got it. But then I realized how much I fit into that character. that old grizzly kind of common sense, face facts, here it is kind of guy. I like to think it's a good thing. It feels warm. And it actually, when I went back and watched the movie Rocky afterwards, I was like, yeah, I guess that is me. So it works.
I know when we were throwing around names, the thing that stuck with me when you were getting your call sign was the number one line Mickey has that everybody remembers is "Go get 'em, Rock," and I know for me, and I think I could speak for the rest of the team, that's the way we feel about you as president, is you're in the corner, keeping everybody else away from us and helping us focus and encouraging. So I appreciate you taking the first step forward and putting us together and being in everybody's corner.
Yeah.
And the guidance 100%. And direction is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the heart.
You're a coach. Well, at the end of the day, you're our coach for sure.
100%.
Yeah, and I would say, for my nickname, I had never seen the movie Atlantis, which is where this character Vinny comes from. And I watched a few clips on YouTube and realized, well, his solution for everything is just blow stuff up. So that fit. And I think it's a reminder for me when I come in that you guys see something in me that I don't see in myself a lot. And I appreciate that. It picks me up on days that I'm down and drives me to move a little bit more forward. And search for something, maybe a bigger goal than what I had originally aimed for. based on the encouragement of the team. So I appreciate it. And having an explosion in my background just seems to make sense for me as a former weapons sergeant. So yeah, it's good stuff. So let's talk about kind of how operationally, our group is a little bit different in the way we run our meeting. I mean, one of the tenets of Success Champions networking is break shit and try new things, right? And I think we've definitely done that in Tropic Thunder. What do you guys see as different from the other groups that you've been to? Because for those watching, if you don't know, everyone that's on a leadership team has to go visit other Success Champion networking groups before they get approved as a leader so that they can learn. And we've definitely developed our own flavor of ice cream. What stands out to you guys on a daily or weekly basis as we do these meetings?
Improv. Half the meeting is improv. It's the greatest thing ever. Like me, that makes me so happy on the inside, where we have a quick 5-minute pre-meeting. All right, this is the outline, and we're just going to roll with the punches all the way through the meeting. And the second anybody sees any value that any member could pick up, and we get a lot of positive feedback for it, it's just the meeting will change course, go handle what needs to be handled, go build somebody up, then go back to where we were and modify it on the fly as we need to. And again, Buzz is amazing at guidance and direction on this to be like, all right, so here's your left and right bumper, and anything in the middle is fair game.
Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
really like something that Buzz introduced for our group called the Path to Gold. And you kind of host it, Josh, but it's an idea of what kind of impact are we making? We realized that going over the numbers all the time wasn't really helping visualize to people how this group helps or how networking with like-minded people can help. And when we turn to the Path to Gold, where you're talking about your latest deal, how you closed it, what went into it, who in the group supported you on that journey, I think that's huge. I'm talking about impact. And a lot of the other groups are going to be more like, we're going to stick to going through the impact report and the numbers, which we cover, but we made it more relatable. And I think that's huge. I think that helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with both of you. The improv, because it has to do with who's showing up in the room, what's happening, and inevitably, Josh, you are really, I really appreciate how good you are at interviewing. Like on the fly, like you get little downloaded questions and you know exactly what to ask, and it's very good at impacting everyone in the room. I'd say what makes Tropic Thunder successful is the people that are in this room right now. And I'm like, it hits me. This is a great group of heartfelt, strong, savvy, caring, intelligent, bring your 110% best to every meeting that we show up at. And dadgummit, let's have some fun. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So, Buzz, what would a veteran expect if they, click to join on the link and when as soon as they get let into the room, what are they going to see?
You're back in the barracks. It's. I remember the days of, sitting across. I mean, think back to those weekends when you couldn't get off base. It wasn't something going on. The camaraderie around a group of bunk beds that we all had, that we could talk about anything, and there was help across the room anytime you needed it. That spirit was always there. Yeah, there was always a few that didn't fit in and weren't part of the team, but for the most part, you walk into Tropic Thunder, you're going to get, how can I help you? What do you need? Who can I connect you with? It's not what's about me or what I need. It's all about helping the other person out. That's what I get out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get a little bit of that chaos, right? As soon as you're joining,
Oh
we're
yeah.
gonna play some music. People are shouting over the music, saying what's up to each other, dropping stuff in the chat, and we play a little motivational or educational video to kind of set the tone and start with a couple of introductions. We put our guests first and go around the room, have some sort of education topic that Miss Beth Dotton has prepared. And a lot of time that's led by our members. So let's do this. Let's talk a little bit about our members. What I want to do is make sure that any veteran that watching or listening to this podcast understands that they're a fit. If you're in business to business, you're a fit. And let's show them that by talking about some of the other members that we have. If you've had virtual coffees, we shorten that down to VCs. That's kind of what we push for, is go hang out with each other. Tell us about some of the virtual coffees that you all have had with some of the other members of the group, what they do for a living and what you got out of it.
I'll start off. I've had a bunch of virtual coffees with Brandon Harris, M&A advisor, also enjoys a really good cigar like I do. And so we spend a lot of time talking about branding and how do you accidentally become your own cigar mafia don and bring a bunch of them into the country. He's got amazing connections in Honduras for that. But,
By the way,
yes, but just being able to speak with him and see how his military career has influenced his decisions and really taking the integrity piece in the M&A space that is kind of the Wild West super seriously, and understanding how and when to navigate a relationship with a VC firm or PE firm, or if the deal is small, or if the company or client just needs guidance on how to prepare themselves for a sale. He's able to speak to, hey, listen, you can't be the face on all your marketing because the second you're not here, the revenue stops. Right? He understands how to walk the client, not just be like, oh, thank you, transaction, ching ching, thank you for your business, have a good one. It's actually a heartfelt level, be able to walk them through actually what's happening. And it's great because in the military, there's just an underlying understanding that really the friendship actually is kind of default until you give somebody a reason not to be. So it really removes a lot of barriers so that you can get to the meat of the conversation and how that person actually is. Where I feel like a conversation like that with somebody who's never in the military or not near around a lot of people in the military don't really understand how that conversation goes.
That's a great point. That's a great point. How about the rest of y'all? What's an impactful VC that you've had with another member?
There's two that come to mind, but the one that I'll talk about first is with Tracy with Ion Worldwide with the recruiting. We've been talking a lot about how she wants to get into like speaking engagements. And so in addition to growing her business, which she is doing an amazing job of, she wants to, she's challenging herself personally too, of I want to be a better speaker. I want to go make a difference. I want to spread my knowledge. And so she and I have been talking a lot about that and kind of helping her, looking at some of her talks and the presentations that she puts together, giving feedback. So it's an accountability thing too, because at the same time I'm starting something small with my sister, and she'll check in on me and be like, hey, have you done this next step yet? Or, have you, where are we on this? And so we can kind of check in with one another and be like, are you still going towards your goal? And if not, maybe we can meet up and refocus.
That's great. You found a brainstorm partner and an accountability partner all rolled into one.
Yes, definitely.
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
How about you, Red?
Go ahead.
yeah. Well, Mickey and or
Heather.
Buzz and Heather and I, we're all focused on strategy with our clients, but from different perspectives. And so we've been meeting once a week and really diving more into how we can explain what we do. Because Buzz does, storyteller promotions. It's strategic swag. Don't just go buy, what do they call it? A stress relief ball.
Stress
and
ball.
give it stress ball, give it out at a convention. It's like, no, nobody's there. It's not even going to make it out of the hotel room. Whatever you spend, you're spending money on swag. Let's squeeze all the juice out of the orange and make it a strategy. What do you want to do from it? From, what emotion do you want them to have? And Storyteller Promotions, both owners, they've worked for Disney before. And then Heather Herlong Events, she does strategic events, basically COO level, every aspect of an event. Every business is already having events. And the question is, are they squeezing all the juice out of the orange? In other words, is all the money that they're already spending, are they getting an ROI? If it's an internal event from their employees, are they getting that discretionary effort from their employees? Like, are the employees more in love with a business? Are they more into it because of everything they're doing? And then, of course, that ties in with the swag that the company's giving them. So our relationships really go together. And then I come in from a strategic HR perspective. And so we were, and then Heather's a dear friend, and she's like my accountability partner, like you, Mel. And, I think last Friday night we stayed up till 4 a.m. talking tactical and strategy, and it's like that veteran that goes to war. You can be all geared up with your tactics and you've got your gear, but if you have no strategy on where you're going to take your business, how you're going to do it, or how you're going to win the war, how you're going to win this battle, how you're going to approach this skirmish, whatever you have to approach, you don't have a full plan where tactics and strategy is married together, then you don't have that. So we're approaching HR, swag, and events from a strategic perspective, and we'll be bringing that to Tropic Thunder. So, because we're really right now just learning a lot, and it's really juicing us all up for the conversations that we're having with our prospects and clients as well.
To kind of piggyback on that a little bit, and Josh, to your point, is a lot of these VCs that we end up having with people turn into actual friendships of more like colleagues, even though you're in different businesses. It has that feel to it instead of, oh, I should have my monthly check-in with so-and-so and go through the motions or whatever. It's a genuine conversation. A lot of times ends up being over text or phone calls randomly, actually genuinely trying to figure out how we can push each other forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. 100%.
One of the coolest things I've seen with the VCs, and I've met with every single member at one point or another. The coolest part is it's not just about business, it's also about personal stuff. And I've virtually got an expert in about 20 different fields in the room with me. So even as a business owner, if I needed information about cybersecurity, I'm picking up the phone, I'm calling Josh. If I just need to pick somebody's brain, it's there. And to me, that's a wealth. You can't replace that.
Yeah. And Josh, I'd like to ask you the same question, because we all laugh about it like it's a joke in Tropic Thunder. It's a point of humor in Tropic Thunder that like you do an astronomical number of VCs. So I'd like to turn and ask you that same question, because I'd love to hear your answer.
Yeah, I think, when I started in Success Champion Networking, I started scheduling more VCs for every VC that I had, because it wasn't awkward. It doesn't matter what group I went to, right? It was good people. I think the evolution of that for me has been qualifying during the initial VC who I'm going to continue to talk to and why. That could be a personal, let me help you out with something, or vice versa. Most of the time it's business related. Do we actually have stuff that's low hanging fruit that we can start chewing on to help each other out with? Because if not, the good intentions are there, right? With, oh yeah, I'll keep you in mind, but realistically, we're only keeping 15 to 20 people in our head, top of mind at any time with regular conversations, right? So I started dialing that back, dialing in who exactly I was asking to meet based on the value that I could bring to that conversation immediately. Because the long-term maybes, I mean, they happen every once in a while, but you can't quantify an ROI off of that. And at the end of the day, we're paying to be a part of this group to grow our businesses, right? And there's a lot of added benefits to that. So I was so getting out and meeting as many people as possible is absolutely necessary at the start. And then once you learn who helps you bear more fruit, you start to truncate what you're looking for and the timeline associated with that, right? Because I know, like for us, we partner with MSPs, but it makes a lot of sense for us to bolt onto and bolt into them. Helps them capture revenue. But from an internal metric, what we measure is dollars per minute with the partnership. So how much time have we spent on the phone or doing emails or sending quotes versus how many dollars have actually hit the deck? And that's our metric for who we spend the most time with. And everybody starts off on the same playing field and gets the same bite at the apple, but then we want to see who's doing their own push-ups, right? And it really helps us to measure the effectiveness of our time in that regard. And so I do keep that soft metric in the back of my head when I'm meeting with folks. But I will say the exception is Tropic Thunder. If you're here and I don't have you, there's no value that you can bring to me, I don't care. You're here, you're on my platoon, and what do you need? I will make it happen. Right. And so that's a really neat thing. And I'll say this too from outside the business realm. I do a lot of work with PTSD and suicide prevention with a bunch of nonprofits. And the number one symptom before elimination is isolation. And I feel like the tribe that's here, we don't have that issue. Business there's a lot of peaks and valleys, regardless of where you are in business, but especially if you own your own. And having a group that you can go through those valleys with and share the peaks with makes so much difference. And you just tend to multiply everything. I think that's where Tropic Thunder has really affected my life over the past year, and just being kind of that steady compass. I know what I'm getting when I walk into the room on Thursday, and it's never going to be a bad thing, right?
Yep.
That's pretty neat. So we're getting close to close time. Let's finish by just going, what's the number one thing that you love about Tropic Thunder? Just whatever it is that stands out.
It's the only digital meeting I have that feels like I'm actually with everybody in person.
100%.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, it's everything that we've talked about for the last, 45 minutes. It's that, I didn't realize being in corporate America. I haven't been in corporate America since I was in my 20s. So long decades, plural decades. And
last week.
yeah, but now coming into corporate America and being a part of corporate America, publicly traded company for the last 4 years. And I love Insperity. I love the culture. I love the people. Like, it really is a company that takes care of its people. And I didn't realize that I was shrinking myself to fit my personality and my perception of what I thought corporate America was. And so for Thursday mornings from 9 to 10, I get to dial it up to a 20, from should be a 10. No, I'm going to take it to a 20. And that still adds value, because I don't want to just be retired and extremely dangerous and like blow shit up, just blow shit up to blow things up to blow it up. I want to add value if I'm going to be in my big personality, which I have. But I think for me, it's allowed me to really connect with my authentic self through the camaraderie of a veteran-centric, focused, okayness community. And it is like we're in the barracks, hanging out on the bunks, talking trash and talking smack to each other, but in a way that only your bunkmates, you could have that conversation. That makes any sense.
I think.
What about you, Jens? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think one of the coolest things has been when we do have problems or something happens, and it doesn't, our leadership team or a member, and it can be like, I'm just not I'm struggling with this problem, with my business or, outside of business. It feels like you can come to people and get true advice without, I mean, they might tease you a little bit to keep the humor and keep it light, but it's never mean spirited. It's always with care and with like true wanting to help people. And I think that's really awesome to see, especially with when the members start coming in and bringing problems like, hey, I really need some help with this. This isn't working for me. And actually seeing them trust the other members in the group and having people jump up and give ideas I love that. It's my favorite part.
Yeah. What do you think, Prez?
What I love the most is you guys. I couldn't have dreamed of creating this on my own, and I never could have. The culture that we've grown just within this organization has been a warm place for me to go every Thursday. I mean, I really look forward to it. It's been a beacon for a number of other groups. People look to us and go, how do I be like those guys? Right? It's just really cool. And this was an idea and you guys brought it to life. So
Clear guidance and direction on your part.
yeah.
And a lot of freedom with some guide rails.
Mickey.
Yeah, I would say that I look forward to Tropic Thunder. There's a litany of reasons why, but to me, that's number one thing I love about it. Everything else on my calendar, I mean, even the range days, I like to go out and shoot and network. I have fun there, but Thursday mornings, I really try hard not to miss because I look forward to being in the room. It doesn't feel like work at all. And there's a lot of profitability that comes from it, but it doesn't ever feel like that.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. So
Like
I try to.
people. Well, you can say that's your favorite thing. We know you like moving people.
Yeah, I do like moving people. So just so you know, if you show up for a guest, when we give you your 60-second commercial, I will have a timer on. And when you go over, I will hit the move button and we'll turn this group into a farm real fast. It's my favorite thing. Yeah,
It is
absolutely.
obnoxious and everybody loves it. And we like cheer each other when you end up doing it. Like it's very counterintuitive. You would think it'd be shameful, but it's honestly like a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
So try and close us out. I try to always throw some word spaghetti at the wall. And being that this is Tropic Thunder, I would say that when we release this, we'll put out the link if you want to come visit us. And if you're wondering whether or not you should or not, let me just say that if you're a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude, we know who you are. And this is exactly where you belong. So thanks for joining us for another Tropic Thunder podcast with the Veteran Helping Veteran series. And thank you guys very much for being a part of this. I wish you all the best. We'll see you in Tropic Thunder sometime soon.